Hello. So, talking Python, science fiction, Traveler specifically, um, I've got a small update to the sector generator that I've been playing with my personal project. And it was version 0.8.1, and it is now 0.8.2. Um, Sean Driscoll, fellow Coty member and YouTuber, um, took the opportunity to try this out and run it on his channel, and horror of horrors, it died, it crashed on him, and he couldn't get it going. So always love to see that when you're a programmer and someone actually takes time out to try your program and it doesn't work. So with thanks to Sean, I was able to actually replicate the problem and figure out what's going on and make a change. What was happening, if I run this and hopefully we get this going, we'll do a system density of 4. uh, this is counterintuitive at the moment. I was using some traveler parlance for density, but the idea would be if you were doing this manually back in the year 1985 or whatever, you would roll a six-sided die, and you would need to roll this number or higher for each section, for each hex, for each parsec, and that would give you a system. So 4 makes for dense systems, and 5 sort of for sort of I would call them regular or middle systems, and a 6 would be a very sparse system. I think, if going from memory, I think Classic Traveler they used 4, but I know in the Spinward Marches, the sector didn't even have 400 worlds, so I don't think they used their own system when they were making the OTU. 5 is normal for me. Sean was running it in 4, and I'll invent a name here, so we'll call that Seaner. And I believe the seed was 896. I hope that's right. Either way, I checked his seed and it's working now, but I'll do 896. I think that's what it was. And we'll generate it. So not only have I fixed this problem, but I've also cleaned up or helped the migration to the PyMapGen program that Sean runs, that Sean has. It was a little kludgy. Well, it's still kludgy. It's just as kludgy as it was, but it was not reading the sector names, and I don't know how I missed that. I went through and tried to read his program and how it works, but it wasn't picking up the sector names. And even when he fixed it to pick up the sector names, it was really picking up a file name without the extension. So that looked ugly. So I wanted to fix that as well. So that's fixed as well. But here's the problem. Here's what happened here. So hopefully we didn't bomb. Hopefully this will succeed. And it's there's so many worlds at a 4. There's actually a good 6 seconds between my bar is done. And you should get I'm done, but it actually is doing more work than I was. But there it is, successfully. So heart stops for a moment, but there it is. So what the problem was I go through and there's Shauner. When I expanded this last month to include all of the orbital bodies around the star. So this is all of the planets and moons in the system above a certain size. They don't have worldlets or anything tiny. But the zero, this is the hex number. The 0 represents that it's the primary star that's being orbited. If if there was another star, it would be the first stellar orbit or the second stellar orbit. So this is all around one star. We can see that's an M5V. And then these are the orbits. And then these final ones, if you are orbiting a planet, then you have another dash, and then you have another orbit number. And then an N represents it's a naturally accreted moon. And if it was an impact moon, it would be an I. And these are probably gas giant here then. And you can see it's a gas giant. So here's the problem. The reason that we crashed with a 4 density and that particular seed number is I like all of these orbital bodies to be named out of my name file. So I have a massive CSV file, and it had, I don't know, 16,000 names or something like that. And in the back of the envelope, I thought that would be enough for a density of 4, 5, 6. But I mean, this density, you can look at each of this sector here, and you can see it looks like there are, it's supposed to be 50% chance for each hex. It looks like there's more planets there than there are not planets. You can go to town on a J1 ship. Holy smokes, you can go on forever. So it was naming all of the worlds and then all of the moons and planets in between. And I guess we went over a threshold and I ran out of names, which I didn't think would happen. I guess I wasn't careful. And I ran out of names. So, and that was causing the error that Sean was experiencing. And I was like, oh, wow. So that's not good because running out of, this is going to be a problem. And I really don't want to use the same names every sector anyway. So if I run out of names, even if I add a few more, that means as I build 3 or 4 sectors in the same sort of universe, they're going to be reusing this. All of the names will be used 3 or 4 times. Maybe not on the main worlds, but in the moons and that's maybe not a terrible thing. That happens, certainly happens in today's universe. But I needed more names. So, I think where I'm headed is some sort of procedurally generated random name, something that No Man's Sky would do, that I would never run out of names. Probably something like that. And that would probably be, I would probably have a combination of random names and real names and have as many as I need. I just don't feel like doing that right now. It's just not really where I want to spend time. And this is obviously a hobby project to help me with my coding because it's fun. It's not supposed to be a job. So I thought, is there something I can do to just get me over this hump now? And there is. I found these guys. This is simplemaps.com, and they offer databases and CSVs of city names from around the world. And they have a basic, pro, and comprehensive. So the basic gave me 41,000 more names. Obviously, there's going to be some duplicates with what I've got. I've just been copying and pasting country names, city names, birth names. I don't know all the names that are in my database, so sometimes I get surprised when I see what something is called. So 41,000, and it was free. As long as you have a Creative Commons attribution. What I really got excited about was this over here. Their pro is 1.7 million. That's amazing. I would love to do that, even more than randomly generate a name. But I'm not ready to pay $200 for a little hobby project right now to get that. Maybe one day. So for now, we grabbed the 41,000, and we have our new sector down here, and it's got a ton of planets. I don't really like the 4, and that's the issue. Came up because I did run a few 4 sectors just to make sure it worked, but most of the sectors I like to play with is a 5. It looks more right to me, a 5 density. It's fewer hexes with worlds in it, but there I learned it. So I even I ran a 3 yesterday, which is just almost filled up. It was crazy, but we didn't run out of names with the 3. So I think we're going to be okay with 40,000 on top of the 15 I had. That should be fine for where we are now. And I think in time we'll add something, to procedurally generate names if I ever do run out. So that has been fixed, and then what'll happen is inside our, I'll move this over so you can see, inside our sector DB, we'll have we've got the database with everything in it. And for the record, if you do use this and you don't like the names, the database is pretty good when it comes to normalization. I don't repeat data that's unnecessary. So the names only appear in one file, in the Traveler Stats file. Is that right? Or do they appear in the Orbital Bodies too? I think they just appear in the Traveler. See, I need to learn my own system. These are the names of the main Traveler Stats. Oh, it's probably in the Traveler Stats and the System Stats. Doesn't have the names. I need to get where did I get the names? Where did I put the names for? Well, these are the main world names. I got to think about where I put the moons and the planets names. But these are the main world names. They've got to be in Orbital Bodies. I'm learning my own program over here. I don't see them there. System Stats doesn't have names. So you should be able to change the journey data. Won't have the names. You want them once. You don't want to have to change a name on every table. So stellar bodies won't have the names. So the traveler stats have, oh no, they are here. It's just, it starts with main worlds. That's right. It starts with main worlds up top, and then all of the other moons and everything's underneath. That's why I was bouncing around. So the names will only appear once. So if you don't like the main world on 0106 and you don't want to call it Arnstein, you can change it here and call it whatever you want, and it will propagate through whatever process you go through. Of course, I've already built the extractions for the traveler maps, so you can't rerun at the moment you can't rerun the extraction. Ultimately, we'll make it a little button so you could say, hey, I've changed something, please recreate the extraction. But this is the extraction for Sean's database. And if I come over here and open up data, we can see we've got 3 databases there, and I want to add this one. So what I'm going to do is, I think the way it works is it starts in the bottom right. So 00 would be probably in the bottom right, and then 11, and they move to the left and they move up and play with it, and you can see where they go. But I think that's where they go. But this would be the new database, and so I've cleaned this up a little bit. So I think if I make it 00, will it work? Probably. I'm not going to take a chance. We'll call it 41. And if we change this, we'll automate this eventually. So you just type in what coordinate you want when you can generate it, and then it'll generate it properly and dump it where I want it to go. But for now, we're kludging just to see how things go. So there we go. I had built 3, and I've just added 4. It's probably in the far left. Oh, I bet you I called the other one Sean or 2 when I was running this before. So I'm probably going to have 2 Seaners. We'll see. This is PyMapGen from Shauner. We run it, and there we go. Yeah, I had run it before, but now we have properly the proper name of the sector is being picked up and appearing, and this 3. That's the that's the 3 density one I built just to see what it looks like. It's insane. This is crazy. I don't even like the look of it. I don't even want to see it. I'm going to delete it, and I'm never going to see it again. And the new Shauner over here, it's probably going to be identical to the one over here because we use the same random seed. So, but this is the one we just built, and there's all the planets that we had. And it's still 4 is pretty dense for me. That's like 600 and some systems. Solomon and Rim and the OTU didn't have 400. So for me, that was the first supplement I got that was official OTU stuff. And it doesn't have 400, I don't think. So that to me looks normal. So if we come over here, this is a 5 density. And to me, that looks a little bit more normal, what I would like to see. Anyway, there we are. Thanks to Sean for trying the program and finding a bug and letting me know about it. And we've got that patched up, and it's still kludgy. Nothing's, it's an ongoing project. So you're copying and pasting and renaming. And if you do want to play with it, I apologize that it's not all automated yet. But one day we'll make it all going. Anyway, thank you for watching. Talk to you later.